Rand Tembisa Hospital scandal. Oren Singh has more.
In June 2024, Vusi Cat Matlala scored a 360 million rand SAPS Health Services contract, but the contract was flagged and subjected to an internal probe before being cancelled in May last year. Shortly after, Matlala was arrested by members of the PKTT. KZN Hawks boss, Lesetja Sinona, told the Madlanga Commission he forwarded the PKTT disbandment letter to Matlala early last year, something Justice Mbuyiseni Matlanga questioned.
Very strange that you would have shared with Mr. Matlala a letter disbanding the PKTT if you did not know him to have any interest in the subject of the PKTT.
But Sinona claims he was unaware Matlala was being investigated.
I was not aware he's the subject of investigation by the PKTT or any other unit.
Sinona confirmed he has known Matlala for at least 7 years. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
The Gauteng Health Department has reaffirmed its commitment to restoring financial discipline amid claims of mismanagement. It comes after the DA accused health officials of underspending on the allocated budget and compromising patient care. But the department says the last time it underspent on its allocated budget was in the previous financial year. Acting Chief Financial Officer Willie Sambo says the department is currently projecting an overspend of 1.2 billion rand on the adjusted budget for 2025-2026.
It is also important to indicate that the department has achieved 79% and 80% respectively in both quarter 2 and quarter 3 on payment of service providers within 30 days. The department remains committed to restoring financial discipline, strengthening accountability and ensuring that available resources are directed towards patient care, infrastructure improvement, and the support of healthcare workers.
And U.S President Donald Trump says the situation in Minneapolis will de-escalate a little bit. It follows tensions linked to the fatal shooting of 2 civilians during an immigration crackdown. Trump deployed top border management authorities to Minneapolis this week in an attempt for damage control. But this seems to not have helped the situation, with many of them now given orders to leave. Trump says government is committed to ensuring that calm is restored.
We have the greatest military in the world. So you read much about Minnesota where, unbeknownst to the public, we have brought down crime very substantially in Minnesota. We've taken out thousands of hard criminals, hardened, vicious, horrible criminals.
Gold is trading at $5,233.39 an ounce. The rand is at 15.88 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 19.05 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.16 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. In fact, an accident reported in the Kelvin area right after Marlborough Drive is causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North in the Bedfordview area due to another accident seen right near the Glulies interchange. Delays coming out of the Elands turnoff.
A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng today, with isolated afternoon showers expected. Temperatures peaking at highs of between 28 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. A manhunt has been launched for suspects who shot and killed 3 men at the Gordons Bay Mall parking lot last night.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. The Clement Manyathela Show starts with the open line. You can call us on 011-883-0702 or send a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702. Have you ever driven to a place you were not aware you were driving to? Like, have you ever been lost in your thoughts and then you suddenly realize you're heading towards a place you weren't planning to head towards? And is that a sign of getting old? Because this morning I went to my usual switch playground class. It's a gym session. And then I was driving to my actual gym after that class. And I was driving to my actual gym, on Alice Lane to go take a shower and come to work. And the next thing, while I'm driving to this Alice Lane Virgin Active, I find myself parking at work. It was crazy. But I was listening to the radio because I was enjoying what Klantipai, the economist, was saying about the formal versus informal economy on Bongani show this morning. So I was very much conscious and present in that conversation. But I was driving to work. And that's not where I was intending to drive to. The original plan was to drive to the gym, and something happened. And then the next thing I realized, I was now at the parking at work. Anyway, that was wild. It's never happened to me, and I had to turn around, obviously, and go to the gym up the road to shower and come back to work. And I easily just thought of it as aging, but I spoke to a friend this morning who says, well, some people call it foggy brain. Does anybody know what that is? Foggy brain. Apparently there's a story of a woman in the U.S. who also once forgotten her own child in a car, and unfortunately it was so tragic because that child died from the heat. They call it foggy brain. I'm not too worried because this is really the first time this has just happened. But I just found it to be wild because it's almost like you wake up at the moment you're parking and you're thinking, okay, what happened before I got here? Because I was originally driving to the other direction. Have you ever experienced something like that? What do you think? 011-883-0702, or maybe there are doctors out there who know what this is. You can send a WhatsApp as well on 072-702-1702. Did you follow the testimony of KwaZulu-Natal Hawks head Major General Lesitja Sinona yesterday at the Madlanga Commission? He had such a difficult day on the stand with a barrage of questions, some of which he was not even able to answer. He appeared before the commission to respond to allegations made against him, including that he has had a seemingly transactional relationship with that tenderpreneur Vusumzi. Is it Vusumuzi or Vusimzi? Ket Matlala. That one, right? Vusimuzi, okay. Vusimuzi Ket Matlala. But he told the commission that Ket Matlala is like a brother to him. And then he claimed that the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi offered to pause investigation against Ket Matlala for the attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend Tebogo Tobejane, and that would be in exchange for information on Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya. And he says he was there in a meeting when this offer was made. And I wonder if you believe him. Or do you think he's just trying to throw mud at the KZN Provincial Commissioner? Please share your thoughts with us. Now, at 10 o'clock, please listen attentively, because I see there are some people already sending their CVs. Please don't do that now, because then we're going to lose, what you are sending us on the WhatsApp line. At 10 o'clock, we are going to do our quarterly feature, the Unemployment Hour. It's a feature that we do at least about 4 or 5 times in a year. So for an hour, what we do is we open the lines and we give unemployed graduates an opportunity to market themselves. We also give an opportunity for employers to call in and tell us what skills they're looking for in their companies. The whole idea is that we want to connect you as the 702 family. And as I always say, even if we just connect 2 people, I think we would have made a dent. We have a crisis of unemployment in this country, and I think where possible, we must try to do our bit to help resolve this crisis. And this is our bit as the Clement Manyathela Show. We have been doing this for a few years now, and we've managed to help some graduates on this show get a job. We've hooked them up with companies that require their skills. And there are many companies that have come to the party and said, hey, here we are. We will take that person who has got these 1, 2, 3 skills. Those are the skills we're looking for. Because we have such generous listeners, right, who are always ready to walk the talk with us. So we're calling out to recruiters as well to listen in. And maybe you, as a recruiter, you will find the skills that you're looking for. I'm calling on people who are willing to provide mentorship for those in need. Please also call in. If you're an employer or a recruitment agency, this is an opportunity for you to locate the skills you require for your business. So here's what I'm asking for now. If you are a recruiter or maybe you're an employer, there are skills you're looking for, I want you to send me an email on cm@702.co.za. Otherwise, you can call us when we start this feature at 10. But if you've got like certain jobs available that you want to send to us, the name of the company, where people can apply, please send that on cm@702.co.za with your required skills, and the team here will try and match that with potential candidates. And I do understand that companies are struggling. I get that. And I understand that there's just simply way too many unemployed graduates. But I want us to do our bit. And maybe there's a company that will find something, or a graduate that will find something. So call us at 10 o'clock and tell us what your experience you have, if you have any, what qualifications you have. And if you're a company, you can call us as well. Let's hear what skills you're looking for. Get in touch with us and we'll connect you. If you're a company looking for skills or you have opportunities, give us a call at 10 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, we're going to do our Listener's Choice feature. Today, we are going to talk about how to dissolve a customary law marriage. And we are doing this because one of our listeners, it's actually a follow-up from the discussion we had last week. One of our listeners has asked that we have this conversation because when we spoke about that constitutional court ruling that couples married under customary law are married in community of property and cannot enter into an anti-nuptial contract at a later stage, even if you subsequently enter into a civil marriage, unless, of course, you do it through the right court processes. So one of the listeners sent an email asking, how does one then dissolve a customary marriage if that's what they wish to do? So we're going to bring an expert who will respond to that question. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with the sharing space. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Yo, Clement, foggy brain. Welcome to menopause. We are living like that every day.
Morning, Clemens. Yes, foggy brain. When women are going through different phases of their hormones and that, when they're pregnant, it's tend to be called porridge brain, and perimenopause and menopausal phases tend to have a foggy brain. So yes, I think women go through it a lot more than our male counterparts. Thank you for a great show.
Okay, where are the gens at now? Because now I'm starting to believe that maybe I am a male that's going through, baby tongue, is it a pre or perimenopause now? Because, I mean, it's women who are sending messages and saying, well, that's what happens. So are there guys who experience this thing? Is there like a male version of like a pre-menopause? Because what I experienced this morning is wild, man. And if really, like women in menopause, my goodness, if that's what you experience, this is wild. And how do you deal with it? Like, are there things you take to try and like minimize the foggy brain, if you will? It is quite scary, but for some reason, it just also demonstrates the human intelligence of the human. Because, I mean, clearly, I don't know what happened in that period between leaving my gym session and going to this other gym. Clearly, something happened there because I didn't get to the gym. I got to work instead. And I can't say I was lost in my thoughts because I was very much present in the conversation that Bongani was having with Klantipai because as I said, I enjoyed it. So I was very much present, but for some reason I arrived where I wasn't intending to go. Have you experienced something like that? And how do you minimize the impact of that? Because that really, really, really is quite scary. But I suppose it also demonstrates how intelligent humans are. Like I still got to work safely, even though I wasn't intending to get here. Otherwise, can you imagine if I was completely removed from that moment? We could be saying something else now.
Morning, Clement, the team, Tebogo here at Joburg. We had the same thing back in the day. I was working for a construction company. We had this old man. He normally used to go collect materials from the hardware. So that day, he drove to the hardware, parked the car there, took a taxi back to the workshop.
No.
He only remembered when he got there, like when you ask him, where is the material? That's when he remembered. The guy would even burn eggs. He would just, when he fry eggs, he will forget and then take a newspaper read, and the next thing they smoke in the house.
Good morning, Clement. This is Simi. What had happened to you driving to a place where you weren't supposed to drive to? It's what they called, like in CPD, baru ochereke sauwe. So that's what happened to you, Clement. There's no any other way to explain it. It's not a medical condition, just something that happens. It's just something that's unexplainable. It's not a medical condition. Just let it be. It happens to the rest of us.
What is sauwe? King sauwe? I get what you mean, but I'm trying to understand, what is sauwe? Is it like a state of unconsciousness? And what happens in that process? Come on, I'm sure there are some neurologists out there who probably know, what this is all about.
Good morning, Clement. This is Mncedisi here. Yes, on the issue of getting or driving to the wrong place, this happened to me a week ago, which I also attributed to age. I was driving on the N3 on my way to Secunda and was supposed to take the N17. For some reason, I took off the signs to the airport. Until I got to the airport, that's when I realized, oh no, I'm on the other side. I need to be going on that way. And I couldn't explain why, but I was attentive. I was there. I could see. And I've been going that route for like 15 years, once a month. But just this one time, I got lost. I don't know what it was, and I would like to hear from experts what that could be.
Yeah, experts, help us out, please. Bruce says, spoko. Spoko is, what's spoko in English? Spoko is spoko. A ghost. Yeah, no, it wasn't a ghost. I can tell you that much. I was very much present. I really was. Yeah, it's quite scary. Like, I mean, what's next? I mean, what's the worst? Let me also maybe ask the ladies that are in menopause or are in pre or perimenopause. What's the worst that's ever happened with the foggy brain? Like, because I worry about, like, what if I'm at the gym and I've just taken a shower and I forget that I must go, like, dress up and change, and then I walk out and I go to work. So that's what I'm asking. What's the worst? Because I'm trying to see where the limit is. And is there someone you can see to deal with that, or that's just something you have to accept? It's part of life. It happens.
Morning, Clement, and to your listeners. This is Lebo Mukoka. Yeah, you know what? That happened to me a couple of days ago, and I had a lot in my mind. We were supposed to present our campaign strategy, and I passed my off-ramp home. I'm supposed to off-ramp at Grayston. I was from the south, and I passed it. But like a couple of meters after, not too far, I came back to my senses. But still, I could not comprehend where I was. and I panicked. And I stopped the car and I looked around and I was like, oh, okay, this is where I am. Then I took the next off-ramp. So yeah, it's quite scary when it happens.
Yo, Sikwati, you're in Pretoria. Good morning.
Yes, man, Clement, my name is Sekwati Rakho. You know what
Sure.
happened to me? I was taking my children to school every year, until they matriculated. Now, one following year, I went to the same school and only to find there's nobody, there's no child, it's only me. And I laughed at myself. To say, how did it come?
So you drove to school because I suppose your body and brain is so used to taking the kids to school.
Correct.
But it was after matric now.
It was after matric,
man.
and then I was supposed to go straight to work, but I still went back to the school the same route, and I thought maybe there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, Sikwati.
Thanks
for sharing.
Clement, very good show.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, here are some guys that are also trying to be naughty. Madinga says, Clement, Sauwe only happens to men. It takes them on a Friday and returns them on a Monday. It takes them on a Friday and returns them on a Monday, or takes them before Valentine's and returns them afterwards. Oh, interesting. So what? Next time if I want to disappear for 2 days, I must just say, hey, I was taken by Sauwe. Hey, I just drove to a place I didn't know. And yeah, I gained back my consciousness after 2 days. Very naughty.
Hi, Clement. Here's one for a guy. The foggy brain effect. I once got up from the lounge and went to the kitchen with an intention of getting something. But when I got there, I just stood in the middle of the kitchen trying to remember, why did I come here? I needed to get something. And unfortunately, I couldn't remember. I went back to the lounge and sat down and continued to watch TV. Thank you, TK.
Oh, Clement, welcome to being a 40-plus perimenopausal woman who takes memory tablets but then can't remember whether you took them or not. And then you go out of your house with the intention of, this is where I'm going. And you're supposed to turn left. But then you're turning right and you ask yourself, where am I going? So you got to experience this for a day? Welcome. This is our daily life.
Yeah, wild.
Morning, Clement, and to your listeners. This is Lebo Mukoka. Yeah, you know what?
Hi, Clement. Here's one for a guy. The foggy.
Okay, let's go to some WhatsApps. While Abel loads some more WhatsApp voice notes there. Matsupo says, Clement, a couple of weeks ago, after my son passed on, my morning routine was taking my girls to school, and then the last one was my son to go to crash, and I will drive to work. That particular day, I took the girls to school and then went straight to my son's crash and went out to take him out, but he was not there. Obviously, I had a serious meltdown. Oh, yeah, Matsubo, that is so crazy. I'm so sorry to hear about your son, and I can only imagine how triggering that must have been when you have lost your son, and because you're so used to taking the girls to school first and then the son to crash, and then one day you drive to crash. And that's another aspect I don't think we talk a lot about. There are certain things that we are so used to with our loved ones, whether it's your child, your children, or your spouse, or your partner, or your friends, I picked it up even with when Sidi passed away. There would be like political moments that happen. I remember 2 days after she passed away, there was something big, like there was some secret doing the rounds politically. There's one person I always talk to about such things. And I remember taking out my phone, and as I was dialing, I remembered that, oh my God, that's what we're dealing with. And I think there are people who go through that, who are so accustomed and they're so used to, oh, we are dropping the kids there, or oh, we normally call, we call each other at this time. And when those people are no longer there with us, in the beginning, they continue with that routine. Oh, that's so difficult. Obakeng, you're calling us from Roodepoort. What's been your experience? Good morning.
Hey, Clement, how's it?
Sharp, how's it?
Clement?
Yeah, go ahead, Obakeng.
Oh, yeah, so no, I think I've experienced that as well. I drove to the mall, and then I Ubered myself back to the house. So when I got to the house, the partner asked, where's the car? And that's when I realized, oh, okay. And she had to now take me back to the mall to fetch the car. So I think it happened once in that fashion, and I experienced it again, like you driving, and then you end up, in the wrong place. And I was like, okay. But I haven't taken seriously to check actually what could it be. So, but I think maybe it's time we pay attention to such things.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Obakeng. Because clearly from what I'm picking up, a lot of us have experienced this. So there must be something going on out there. It's 9:30. Time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. At least 30 scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane this morning. This formed part of blitz operations that have been targeting vehicles across Gauteng. The operations follow a recent fatal scholar transport crash in Vanderbijl Park, which claimed the lives of 14 children. Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption is still trying to resolve the safety fears of some key witnesses who still have to make oral submissions. The committee has about 2 weeks left to conclude its hearings, but it hasn't finalized the appearance of alleged crime intelligence asset Brown Mogotsi. And 3 of the 5 suspects arrested on 66 fraud and money laundering charges have been released on 50,000 rand bail each. The Hawks arrested the suspects in a joint operation yesterday after they allegedly colluded with subcontractors to submit fictitious invoices to Gqeberha parent company Pro Kaya. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
There's roadworks on the N12 as well as the R24 whereas towards the Gilulis interchange. Please be on the lookout there. While travelling on the M1 South, queuing traffic between Grayston Drive and Corlett Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South in the Midrand area between Olifantsfontein Road and New Road. That's due to an accident. It's causing about a 10-minute hold up there. Please try to avoid, if you're heading towards areas like Kempton Park as well as Edenville, please use the R21 South. And then if you're travelling in Bryanston, delays along Winnie Mandela Drive towards the Bryanston Drive exit. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South towards Winnie Mandela Drive. This is due to an earlier accident. Please be on the lookout there and continue driving with K. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
I want to speak about Justice Madlanga.
The kind of contradictions that he portrays, but at the same time holding his ground very firm. Yesterday, when he told the Hawks boss in KZN that you may be complaining that you are being treated unfairly, but at the same time it could be our instruction as the committee. He is the person who should have been named by his parent, the one who saved you while laughing and massaging you at the same time. I like his firmness. One moment you think you are friends, the next moment he has a stern face facing you.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
For over 30 years, Bid Air Cargo has been keeping South Africa's supply chain moving, giving our economy the dedicated cargo capacity it needs. Whether it's really, really urgent, oversized, or hazardous, when a shipment has to fly, we make it happen. Linking all major airports with reliable freighter services, our promise delivers. Bid Air Cargo. Every kilo counts.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
At Dis-Chem, get ready to start the year strong with better health and better rewards. Enjoy 20% off the lifestyle food range, plus an extra 10% off when you swipe your Better Rewards card. And get 2+1 cheapest free on any Future Life foods. Look out for the Better Rewards icon to get an extra 10% off on Better Rewards brands. Offers valid from Tuesday 13 January to Sunday 15 February. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
It's 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. It's the 702 open line. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Remember that conversation we had on the show last week or so about Chinese vehicle brands? And then we spoke about tariffs because there are some people who are concerned that they're saturating the markets. Well, apparently our government is now considering 50% import tariffs on Chinese and Indian cars. The whole idea is to protect local manufacturers because these cheap imports have meant that only 1 in 3 vehicles sold in South Africa is basically now locally produced. So government is trying to look at what is possible. So I saw Uzuko Godlimbi, who's the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition yesterday, telling the committee in Parliament that South Africa wouldn't want to be hostile towards countries like China and India by introducing these import tariffs, but would instead encourage them to have local production facilities. And of course, this is a conversation that we had the last time, right? Remember, there were some people who were calling in and saying, well, we need to have serious conversations with the Indian and Chinese, government, and have conversations about the tariffs, because there must be an incentive for these manufacturers to have lesser import tariffs. So part of it is just ensure that they're creating opportunities here locally. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have a vulnerable industry due to, and this is what another expert indicated, that because you've got this reliance on the UK EU market, which apparently absorbs about 80% of South Africa's new vehicle exports, you are going to have a problem when there are cars that come in and they're much cheaper. They're going to saturate the market. And if those manufacturers are not producing locally, then that's not really helping us in the entire value chain. So I thought I should give you that update because that is a consideration. Localization, and this is an acknowledgement government has made, localization remains stagnant, which is why it's important to start looking at what other options are available. But 50% tariffs, import tariffs on these vehicles, I wonder what the impact is going to be on you as the end user, as the consumer. But also, what is the impact then on this relationship we have with our BRICS partners? How would they take it? You can share your thoughts on this latest development also on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Now back to your WhatsApps about foggy brain on 072-702-1702.
Morning, 702. So from a menopause perspective, I want to reiterate it is the worst, most terrible, unimaginable, horrific place to be for a woman. The foggy brain is just awful, from forgetting kids at school, from not finishing makeup, one eye done, another eye not done,
No way.
from you name it. Besides that, the anxiety is just insane. So men, you better pray you guys never ever get this. And also be sensitive to your wives and your partners.
Yeah, be more understanding, gents. Be more understanding.
Clement, This is funny because it happens to me quite frequently. So I think it has to do more with the brain activity. So I run two businesses, always in thought, like my brain never really relaxes. And so I think for me that's been the reason for me. I attribute it to that. I've never actually had to think about what could be the cause of this because I just know. Well, I was probably absent-minded in the time.
Morning, Clement. Louis from Report. I get the foggy brain quite often. It's closely related to stress. You know, when you have been stressing for quite some time, I tend to it just hits me, and then 1 minute I'm trying to go to a certain mall or center, the next minute I'm at another center that I didn't intend. It happens a lot, especially because I'm someone that works on the road, and I'd listen to your show, and I'm meant to be at one place, but I find myself at another area. And yes, thank you very much, Clement, for making me late in most occasions.
Your voice,
your station,
your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Hi, Clement. I think the whole tariff thing on Chinese imported vehicles is long overdue. That should have been implemented a long time ago to safeguard South Africa's manufacturing sector.
Good day, Clement. If you put a tariff on Indian and Chinese car imports, you will only hurt the South African consumer. To me, the consumer in South Africa is the most important thing in this equation. Our domestic manufacturing of vehicles must be better. They can't be protected like this. This will only hurt our consumer. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out what is going to be the impact on the consumer. But then again, where are the tariffs at now? Because if that is not regulated and the market does get saturated because these cars are coming here cheaply, but also there's no incentive for those governments and those businesses and manufacturers for them to get those lower tariffs because they are not producing, and manufacturing locally. And that's part of our localization policy. I mean, as I said, 3, in one vehicles on the road, 1 in 3, that's what I mean. 1 in 3 of the vehicles on the road were manufactured here on home soil. I think we could do better. But I think there must also be a consideration, one, on the relationship we have with our BRICS partners, because I think here is an opportunity for us to actually just close that trade deficit, and we can ask for return favors, because this is a favor. But then again, you need to be conscious of what is the impact going to be on consumers themselves. And that is what I suppose government has to ponder about.
Hi, Clement. The ANC is very useless. It's very useless. So now we're going to continue being strangled by banks paying 34,000, 15,000, 30,000 for cars. With this Chinese, Indian cars, we have a break. At least we can pay 5,000 for something very decent. Now with these tariffs, it means now we're not going to get that break. It means we're going back to paying now for Jaeco. We're going to start paying 15,000, 20,000 a month. And that is actually what the ANC want us to do. They are succumbing themselves to these Western countries now. Like, I don't understand why does the ANC hate us this much? I don't understand why aren't they, this other European cars taking their pricings down. Even when they're getting produced here in South Africa, they're still expensive. Why?
Morning, Clement. This is Sipo in Alberton. Clement, it's about time our government actually did that. We shouldn't worry about our relationship with the BRICS, and we need to protect our jobs, and we need to create more jobs. These Chinese cars are coming down here, and all they're doing is basically just chowing our jobs. We're becoming a sales department for Chinese products. So now this is about time. I think this is a bloody good thing. I mean, it's long overdue. Yeah, I mean, if we want to preserve the jobs, the fewer jobs that are out there, especially on the automotive industry, we might as well just do this. Otherwise, we keep on being ridden over by Chinese products. It's about time.
Look, government has said that if we're not doing this, then we're looking at a threatening situation where these Chinese and Indian cars would threaten to displace local producers and decimate basically this domestic component manufacturers. So they're doing this because they're trying to respond to the surge of these imported vehicles from India and China. But remember, speaking of unemployment, remember last week we spoke about the car dealer Motors, because they had announced plans to retrench some employees and reduce certain staff benefits. And at the time, the company said the move is a result of increasing pressure on the local automotive industry, particularly from this rapid growth of Chinese vehicle brands in the market. And of course, we've seen that over the past few years, Chinese car manufacturers have gained significant market share in South Africa. And that's largely because their vehicles are more affordable than many of the brands that, traditionally would dominate the sector. So that shift has raised some concerns about the sustainability of other manufacturers and the broader impact of jobs within the industry, which is why government now is trying to find a way to balance it out. Yes, you still want consumers to pay less for these vehicles, but you also want to ensure that you are not threatening to displace local producers and you're not really destroying the domestic component manufacturers. It's going up to 14 minutes now before 10 o'clock. More of your calls and WhatsApps after this.
Outsurance Life Insurance knows nothing's more important to you than providing for your loved ones, even if you're no longer around.
I took out life insurance with Outsurance because I want to protect my family.
That's why 47-year-old Sonette pays only 251 Rand a month for 1 million Rand life cover.
I trust Outsurance. What you see is what you get.
Get Outsurance Life Insurance cover without doing any medicals. SMS Insure to 47159. That's Insure to 47159. Licensed Insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
When tax issues get complex, you need more than general advice. You need specialist insight. AJM turns intricate tax challenges into clear strategic solutions. From disputes and litigation to long-term planning, our expertise protects what matters to you and your business. With teams in Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Namibia, we deliver the rigorous analysis high-stakes decisions demand. AJM. Complex tax matters simply resolved.
Kick off to glory with Hollywood Bets and Asi Shege be in the game. Go full speed ahead with the epic competition. You stand to win a share of 4 million Rand in cash and prizes, including an all-new Toyota Corolla Cross. Bet 10 Rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures online or at your nearest branch. Live life in the fast lane. Bet now for your chance to score. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
13 minutes before 10 o'clock. George, you're calling from Hartbeespoort Sport. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
This is an opportunity for South Africa to negotiate with India and China and say, set up your plants in South Africa that we can create jobs. Because on the other hand, the Western countries have created jobs, but how much their cars come out to cost us? So there must be that balance. South Africa has an opportunity to create itself as a center of motor manufacturing. Why can't we go that way? Then you still maintain your BRICS relationship, and on the other side to still maintain your Western. The Western countries must lower their prices. Remember that their prices are higher due to the advantage that they have on the currency. Your dollar, your thing, it's disadvantaging us. We want to see more people driving better cars. We want to see, that those sales injected into our economy. But let's do them at home, which will become even more cheaper. So I think we have to do mind you of something slightly out. And when we written and educated our teachers and our nurses, we went there and say, "Oh no, stop! You can't take our people." We should have said, "Come, tell us how many you need," and start opening the nursing.
George. Yeah, George, I'm sorry, my friend. Your line is breaking. It was fine in the beginning, and we got the point you made in the beginning about the opportunity this presents for China and India to set plants here. So thanks for that. It was breaking up there towards the end. And then on the WhatsApp line, someone says, Clement, perhaps you could get the DTIC to elaborate on their proposals and inquire from them what are the possibilities of FTA, what's a free trade agreement with BRICS countries and the EU. We should also be considering FTAs with Canada. We have FTA with Africa, but is there any impact there? Yeah, we did reach out to the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, and unfortunately they didn't really have anyone for us this morning. But trust me, I'm sure throughout the day, more so on the Money Show, I'm sure there will be a conversation or two about this particular issue. I think, one, I agree with what George says in Hartbeer Sport. This is an opportunity for India and China to set up plants here. So let's manufacture some of these vehicles here. But also, we are within the BRICS bloc. Let's sit down and have a conversation about what works so that it will work. Whatever we agree on works for the Chinese. It doesn't really push them too hard. But also they understand that our government has a responsibility to protect you as a citizen, as a consumer. So let's sit down and talk, because that opportunity exists.
Hi, Clement. I think our government's biggest priority must be to protect the jobs in South Africa. China, and I'm not sure about India, but they subsidize their car industry heavily. So we're not competing on an equal footing. They must either impose tariffs or they must force those companies to have the plants here where they construct the vehicles so that we also benefit. China would have done the same. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, true. And someone raises a very important thing about the manufacturing industry. Brian on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, we have a good example of how the clothing and textile industry has been destroyed due to cheap Chinese imports. The same is going to happen in the vehicle manufacturing sector. The problem is we don't really have the means or skills to develop a strong manufacturing ability in the sector. Another example of no clear development plan to deal with economic issues locally. Oh, Brian, I couldn't have said it better. And also it seems like we are reactive. I mean, when government started seeing the surge, even before then, I mean, what did they think? Isn't the whole idea of economics to also be able to forecast what is to come? And this was going towards one direction. And that's where we find ourselves now. Another one says, Clement, localization is the solution. It would make them even more affordable. If I'm not mistaken, Sherry entered into an agreement with Nissan to acquire the Nissan plant in Roslyn. That's a message from Pogiso in Pretoria.
Morning, Clement. Casey from the south here. Listen, regarding your topic on the import tariff for specifically China and India, it's not really my area of expertise, but I'm just thinking, if as a consumer I have an option to to buy a car for the value of say 500k as opposed to 800k for a local produced one. It means I'm saving 300k, right? And that means I'm able to spend that 300k somewhere else. So that 800k, I'm spending it on the car and something else. Isn't that on its own good for the economy? I get that these cars are produced locally, but is it not a good thing that I'm saving money? Obviously, I'm going to spend it on something else.
Greetings, Clem. This is Nankos here. This automotive protectionism doesn't really help the consumers per se. It's hurting us. I'm looking at people from Botswana, people from Lesotho, people from neighboring countries, basically in SADC. Almost everybody that is working can afford a car because they're importing these cheap imports from Japan. We are not allowed to do so. We get slapped with a huge tax, and therefore we pay a big sum of money just for a basic vehicle. And they are driving very good vehicles from Japan. So basically, I think this thing is also going to hurt us mostly. And Nonkosi here.
Good morning, Clement. I do agree. I think the South African motor manufacturing industry in particular has to be protected. Here we're talking about the hurting the consumers, but who are the consumers? The consumers are the same employees who are employed by the same companies in the motor manufacturing environment. Of course, not everyone is a consumer is employed in that sector, but in order for us to have consumers, we need to have jobs, and in order to have jobs, we need to have those industries like manufacturing. Thank you. Goes in Kempton.
Morning, Clement. Mark from Kempton Park. I would agree that it would hurt the consumer to have additional tariffs, but there should be some mechanism where they could force Chinese manufacturers to set up manufacturing in South Africa and limit the range. So there wouldn't be as broad a range with all of these different brands, but limit it in order to make it feasible for them to set up manufacturing. And then, I think it would be a healthier way to do it.
Morning, Clement. I honestly think there needs to be a balance between the tariffs, where it preserves the jobs, and higher car prices. There has to be a balance between the two, because if you're going to put a tariff on imported goods, it's going to, yes, protect the jobs, but it also means that consumers are going to pay more. There's other ways to create jobs. My opinion is the labor laws that we have in this country are, I think they are anti-employer, and they don't work in the employer's favor. And employers are, as far as I'm concerned, are reluctant to hire some of the South Africans, especially because of the labor laws. This is just my opinion, but there's other ways to preserve and create jobs as opposed to increasing tariffs. We can expect a backlash from India and China if our government's going to do that. So we'll just end up in a trade war. There has to be a balance.
There's a new way to experience all your favorites. Pulse Africa, the 24/7 fast channel, now live on PrimeMediaPlus.com and the Prime Media Plus app, bringing you the best of Prime Media around the clock. Watch the biggest moments from 7:02. It's non-stop entertainment and authentic African storytelling, all from Africa's leading media network. Pulse Africa, only on the PrimeMediaPlus.com and Prime Media Plus app.
Join the Department of Human Settlements, government and industry leaders, innovators and visionaries at the Summit on Innovative Building Technologies, where cutting-edge solutions are shaping sustainable, inclusive and resilient human settlements. Tune in to 702 on the 3rd of February, broadcasting live at the Nasrec Expo Center, Johannesburg, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Visit dhs.gov.za for more information. The Department of Human Settlements houses security and comfort.
To live wealthier, you need to be able to grow your assets. At Standard Bank Private, you get a team of internationally acclaimed financial experts to advise you on local and global investment strategies. Plus, being with a leader in home loans, you can start expanding your property portfolio. So, Come live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Apply online at standardbank.co.za. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Life keeps getting busier. Parenting, shopping, working, exercising, just surviving. With all of that, who has time for anything else? That's why Netcare introduces Netcare Appointmed. Just tell us what you need, a specialist, GP or dentist, and we'll search our nationwide network of 5,000 doctors and find an appointment with a doctor who best suits your needs and medical aid. That's Netcare Appointmed on the Netcare app.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
On the one hand, we have excessive spending on things that appear to be wasteful, and yet money is being given back. Do you have any idea why? Could they not find any other things to waste money on, a la Tembisa hospital-style procurement? Or is there real dysfunction in actually getting the business of the department done?
Well, I think there's a combination of incompetence. They have around about 8 billion rands worth of accruals, in other words, unpaid debt. So the 8 billion rand is where they haven't actually paid for existing procurement.
Professor Alex van den Heer.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
702 Afternoon Drive with John Perlman is proudly brought to you by Telkom Business. Possibility begins here.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 10 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Bali Dlamini. At least 30 scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane this morning. This formed part of blitz operations targeting vehicles transporting children across Gauteng. The operations follow a recent fatal scholar transport crash in Vanderbijl Park. 14 learners were killed when the minibus taxi they were travelling in collided with a truck last week. Gauteng transport officials say work to ensure safety in the sector will continue. Spokesperson Lisi Bampia says various non-compliance issues have been identified during operations.
We found expired and missing license discs. We discovered torn seats that are concealed with blankets. There was non-functional seat belts that we discovered. We were able to get worn-out shock absorbers, worn-out tires.
Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts will begin to hear testimony from former board members of the Road Accident Fund today. This is regarding controversial decisions they made that have led to this probe. These include doing away with direct claims to the fund for compensation for motor vehicle accidents that has compounded the headache for claimants. Yesterday, trade union NUMSA told the inquiry that former CEO Collins Letsoalo had allegedly unfairly suspended 200 claims officers, accusing them of corruption. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
NUMSA has told Scopa that RAF employees have had to endure heinous working conditions at various offices and have borne the brunt of office furniture being attached due to the non-payment of court orders. Former RAF employee and NUMSA shop steward Sive Mbali has testified that claims officers were assigned at least 2,000 cases each.
Members were drowning in the workload, and we're deeply concerned because whilst the employees are faced with this huge backlog, the employer has intentions of letting go of about 400 plus employees.
Meanwhile, Scopa chairperson Zongezo Zibi says former board members will today have to account for the decisions that have put the fund in financial turmoil.
We also want to look into the abolition of the panel of attorneys without a plan, which has cost the Road Accident Fund billions of rand in legal costs as well as default judgments.
Parliament is still weighing up legal options against former CEO Collins Letsoalo, who has rebuffed summonses to appear before the committee. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Let's stay in Parliament. The ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption is still trying to resolve the safety fears of some key witnesses. The committee has about 2 weeks left to conclude its hearings, but it hasn't finalized the appearance of alleged crime intelligence asset Brown Mogotsi. The committee is also still preparing to hear further testimony from former acting police commissioner Khomotso Phahlane as well as the KZN police commissioner Ntantla Mkhwanazi. Babalondenze has more.
The ad hoc committee was set to hear testimony from Paul O'Sullivan this week, but he refused to appear physically, citing safety concerns. The committee had to use this week to slot in its public hearings as a result of O'Sullivan's absence. ANC fixer and alleged crime intelligence operative Ramaphosa's evidence and statement are also not finalized. Committee chairperson Soviet Lekhanyane.
The legal team, together with the relevant section in Parliament, were still working on the matters of Mr. Brown Mkhodzi. The report that I got this morning is that the statement is about ready, but there are security issues that he is raising, which the security section of Parliament must attend to.
Meanwhile, members of the committee want O'Sullivan to be subpoenaed to answer to allegations of interference. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
3 of the 5 suspects arrested on 66 fraud and money laundering charges have been released on 50,000 rand bail each. The Hawks arrested the suspects during a joint operation yesterday after they allegedly colluded with subcontractors to submit invoices to Gqeberha parent company Pro Kaya. The manager, a qualified quantity surveyor, was identified as being the main suspect. Eastern Cape Hawks spokesperson Siyabulela Vukumbi Fumba says the remaining 2 suspects, a married couple, have been remanded in custody.
5 accused appeared at the Cape Town Magistrates Court. Monan, Tiflon and Klude were released on 50,000 rand bail each, whereas the Mare couple were remanded in custody. The matter has been rolled over to the 28th of January 2026 in the same court.
And Sir Keir Starmer is expected to land in Beijing for the first trip to China by a British Prime Minister since 2018. He's due to meet President Xi Jinping tomorrow. The trip marks government's attempt to reboot the UK's relationship with China. Some critics have argued that the trip is not a good idea, saying China and Britain hold worldviews that are too different. But Starmer says, as one of the world's biggest economic players, a strategic and consistent relationship with China is in his nation's interest. Around 60 British business and cultural leaders are also on that trip, including representatives from bank HSBC and pharmaceutical company GSK. Gold is trading at $5,233.37 an ounce. The rand is at 15.86 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 19.05 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.16 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident seen on the N1 South in the Midrand area. It's causing heavy traffic volumes between Olifantsfontein Road and New Road. Please try to use the R21 South as an alternative towards areas like Benoni as well as Kempton Park. While travelling in Edenville, we've got roadworks taking place on the R24 West right after Edenville Road, causing delays.
A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng today with isolated afternoon showers expected. Temperatures will peak at highs of between 28 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. At least 30 scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 10 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome. This is the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Time now for the feature that we do a couple of times in a year, probably about once or so a quarter, and we call it the Unemployment Hour.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702.
So, what we do on the Unemployment Hour is we open the lines. So, from now until 11 o'clock, the lines are open for unemployed graduates. I want you, if you're an unemployed graduate listening to us, or you know of an unemployed graduate, give them a call and tell them to quickly listen to 702 and give us a call. You never know what opportunities would come for them. So we open the lines for an hour and we give unemployed graduates an opportunity to market themselves. And we give an opportunity to employers as well to call in and tell us what skills they're looking for. We want to connect the 702 family because we've got people who want employment who are part of the 702 family. We've got people who produce employment. We've got employers as well who listen to us. And as I always say, even if we just connect 1 or 2 or 5 people, we would have done our part because we've got a crisis of unemployment in this country. And I think where possible, we must all try to do our bit to help resolve this crisis. And this is our bit as the Clement Manyathela Show. So we've been doing this for a few years now, and we've managed to help some graduates on this show. We've hooked them up with companies that require their skills. There are many companies that have always come to the party, and I always appreciate you so much for being so generous as employers. I mean, already I've got a number of emails, I've got messages from friends who own companies, I've got, listeners who have sent us messages and are saying, okay, this is my business, I'm looking for a social media manager, I'm looking for a receptionist, I'm looking for a lawyer, this is what I'm looking for, we're looking for an accountant. So I appreciate what you're doing because we are a community and we are a platform that connects all of us as a community. So if you're an employer, and there are opportunities in your company, please give me a call right now. Please give me a call right now on 011-883-0702 and tell me what skills you're looking for. What posts are available in your employment? And then you'll give us an email address to which anyone listening to us who may have those skills, who may have those qualifications and that experience can email you and get in touch with you. But equally so, if you're an unemployed graduate and you want to market yourself, you can call us now, 011-883-0702, or you can send a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702. And what we'll do is we will put you out there, and if there's an employer listening or a recruitment agent, and they're looking for someone with your skills and someone with your qualifications, then we will link you guys up. Very easy. You give us a call. Market yourself. Don't be too quick so that we can get all of your details because it's quite a hectic hour for me and the producers because we have to take down all of sort of the information that we get from the employers and the graduates. So when I take your call, just take it easy and market yourself. Tell us what experience you have, if any, what qualifications you have, and what are you looking for, right? And maybe, just maybe, you will find what you are looking for. So 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. If you are a recruitment agency as well, this is also an opportunity for you to locate the skills that you require. If you prefer to send an email as well, you can send it if you're an employer. So email address, don't use it if you're an unemployed graduate. Only use the cm@702.co.za if you're an employer that is looking for specific skills for people with specific qualifications. And as I've said before, I know there's so many companies that are not doing well, that are still struggling. And there are so many unemployed graduates. But come on, let's just do something for just 1, 2, or 5 people. That's all I ask. If we can do our bit, maybe there's a company that will find something. Maybe there's a graduate that will find something. Give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. All right, let's go straight to the lines now and start with Naledi, who is calling us from Midrand. Naledi, good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm good. Naledi, how are you doing?
I am good.
All right, let's go. So tell me about yourself. Like, what qualifications do you have? Do you have any experience, and what are you looking for?
So I hold an undergraduate degree, where it's a BCom general degree in economics and finance from the University of the Western Cape. And then I also recently completed my honors degree in finance from the University of the Witwatersrand. And I'm currently looking for a position, an entry-level job, whether in asset management or an investment firm, or as well as in banking. And then I am proficient in Excel, and I do know our programming language, and I'm currently in the process of learning your Python as well. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, that's perfect. Do you have an email address, Naledi?
It's Naledi Phuti, Phuti.
Phuthi.
1@gmail.com.
1@gmail.com. So Naledi Phuti, 1@gmail.com. Okay, and the job could be anywhere in the country. You're not specific?
Yes, it could be anywhere in the country. I'm willing to relocate.
Okay, perfect. Naledi, thank you so much, and all the best. Kamohelo, you are calling us from Katlehong. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kamohelo Themba. I hold an undergrad BA in Psychology and Literary Studies in English with journalism as an additional module, and I recently completed my honors degree in Literary Studies in English. I have strong written and verbal communication skills, experience in qualitative research, editing and proofreading, and I'm proficient in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel.
Okay, perfect. And what are you looking for? In what sectors are you looking to work?
I'm looking for entry-level jobs or internships in editing, writing, journalism, or psychology.
Okay, editing, writing, journalism, or psychology. All right, Kamohelo, in your email address?
Khensani, Khensane.
Khensane.
Yes, Kamohelo.
Kamohelo with an H or a G?
With an H.
Kamohelo, okay. At gmail.com.
Yes, at gmail.com.
Okay, Kamohelo, all the best. Thank you so much. So if you are looking for someone with Kamohelo skills and qualifications, looking for an entry job in psychology, journalism, please, you can send Kamohelo an email or get in touch with us, and we will get you in touch with Kamohelo. Khensani Kamohelo at gmail.com. Naledi as well, who's got a BCom honors in finance and investments, looking for an entry-level job in asset management, in banks, and her email address is nalediphuti 1@gmail.com. And if you have picked up that, I want someone like Naledi in the company, please get me in touch with her or with Kamohelo. Just give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. But the easiest way is to give us a call so that we are able to quickly connect you with them. Let's go to Refilwe now, who's calling us from Johannesburg. Refilwe, good morning.
Hi, Mr. Clement. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very awesome. Thank you.
Sure, go ahead. What are you looking for?
Okay, my name is Refilwe. Surname is Moloi, and I'm based in Katlehong. I hold a diploma in PR, public relations, and I currently just completed my advanced diploma in PR. And my experience include managing social media platforms, producing written and visual content, organizing events, and maintaining relationships with key stakeholders and media partners.
Okay. And what are you looking for? What sectors are you looking to work in? How old are you again?
I'm 28.
28. Okay. What sectors are you looking to work in?
Actually, my majors are media and communication. So it could be anywhere between the media sector or the communication sector or the PR sector itself.
Okay. What's your email address?
Refilwe, it's RM. RM Moloi.
RM Moloi.
Yes, 41 @gmail.com.
Okay, so RM and then Moloi, and then spell Moloi for me. M-O?
MOLOI.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 41 at
41@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. All right. Kamohelo, thank you so much. Refile, thank you so much and all the best. Okay, I want to go to some employers now. Let's start with Portia Mchali, who's calling us from Pretoria. Portia, how are you?
I'm great, and yourself, Clement?
I'm good, thank you. So you're an employer, what are you guys looking for? What skills are you looking for?
We currently have a communications and public relations specialist position available within our medical aid scheme. We are based in Centurion, and I don't know if you need more details from me.
What's the name of the medical aid?
Key Health Medical Scheme.
Okay, Key Health Medical Scheme, and you're looking for a communications and public relations specialist. How much experience must they have?
But we're not looking for anything less than 4 years experience.
Okay, nothing less than 4 years experience, and this company is based in Centurion.
That's right.
Okay, how do they get
it?
The
qualifications?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we are looking for somebody with a bachelor's degree or national diploma that is equivalent to NQF level 6 or 7 in communications, public relations, journalism, marketing, or any other related field. They can contact or rather send an email through to hr@keymed.co.za.
Okay.
I'll spell HR, all lowercase, hr@keymed, KEYMED.co.za.
Oh, perfect. And is there any
It's imperative that there's a reference that they quote
on the subject line?
On the subject line, please.
Okay. What is it?
Capital K, capital H, 01.01.26.
Oh, perfect. Portia, thank you so much. I'm sure there's someone listening out there who meets these requirements and qualifications. All the best. Thank you so much for calling us.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Clement. We appreciate it.
No, thanks to you. Portia Mchali, who's calling us from Pretoria. So she is from Key Health, right? And they're looking this is a Key Health medical scheme. So if you are someone with these qualifications and you can take up this position as a communications and public relations specialist, and you've got a bachelor's degree or a national diploma, NQF level 6 or 7 in communications or in PR or in journalism or marketing or any related field, you've got some bit of experience. Portia says nothing less than 4 years. Please send them an email right now on hr@keymed.co.za. And when you send that email, it's important that on the subject line you put this quote, KH, capital letter K, capital letter H, 01.01.26. That's what you have to put in the subject line. They're looking for a communications and public relations specialist. It's 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. More of your calls are unemployed graduates and also employers who are looking for skills.
Hello, January. You feel different to December. December was nice, wasn't it? January is strange like that. Because as much as December was easy, January is hard. Giving things up, getting fit, looking ahead, making plans, changing plans. And 11 months later, it's December again. And on it goes. Year after year after year. The thing is, December is how you should feel when you retire. And all the time you spend getting there should make it worth it. That's why, after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do the things you want to do. Like turning your Januaries into Decembers. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
It's Gauteng's biggest rugby showdown. Ellis Park Stadium comes alive this Saturday as the Lions take on the Vodacom Bulls in the Vodacom United Rugby Championship. It's the ultimate local derby, and bragging rights are on the line. Don't miss the intensity, the passion, and the pride of two giants going head to head. Get your tickets now at ticketpro.co.za. Come early and soak up the full Ellis Park match day experience. Joburg, let's get behind the Lions.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct to give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za. 702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
24 minutes after 10 o'clock, we're doing our unemployment hour where we open the lines to unemployed graduates, but also to companies, employers that are looking for people with specific qualifications and skills. So if you're listening to us, you're an employer, you're a manager, and you know in your team there is some gaps, you are looking for some people with specific skills, just give us a call. Tell us what you're looking for. And you never know, your next, employee could be on the other side of the line. So get in touch with us. If you, maybe as an employer, you've picked up that from Naledi or Kamohelo or Refilo who called us earlier, and the qualifications that they have, those are the people you want to give an opportunity to. Just let us know and we'll get you in touch with them. Let's go back to the lines now. In fact, before I go back to the lines, here's a message that we've also received from one of the employers who says, if there's a graduate with graphic designing and social media skills, please can they contact us? So if you are an unemployed graduate out there with graphic designing skills, with social media skills, Ted Car Motor Group is looking for you, right? They want you to join their marketing department. They want a graphic designer and social media person. They want to look at design work for social media and marketing and manage group social media platforms. So if you are that person, you can send your CV and you send an email to tpantsi@tedcarmotorgroup.co.za. So tpantsi, that's TPANTSI at tedcarmotorgroup.co.za. So they are a new automotive dealer group selling vehicles in Mainland Maine, and they're looking at differentiating themselves from other dealers in their marketing strategy. So if you're listening out there and you've got skills in graphic designing and skills in social media as well, because they want you to manage their social media accounts, send an email, tpantsi@tedcarmotorgroup.co.za. Mpo, you are calling us from Soweto. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right, Mpo. Tell me about your qualifications, your experience, if any, and what are you looking for?
All right. My experience is in administration, so I've been working since December 2020. However, it was on a contractual basis, and my qualification is BSc Biological Science. So I would like a job in line with administration or being a lab assistant.
Or lab. Okay, in administration or lab assistant. Bachelor of Science in so what, the BSc Biological Science, right? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your email address, Mpo?
It's Mpo, MPHO, Magwenya, MOKO, ANA, 03 @gmail.com.
@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay, Mpo Magwenya 03 @gmail.com. Thank you so much, Mpo, and all of the best. Mpo has BSc Biological Sciences from VET in 2019, looking for jobs in administration. or maybe as a lab assistant. Her email address is mpomokwana03@gmail.com. Mpo, you are also Mpo, but you're calling us from Boksburg. Good morning.
Morning. I was so confused when I heard another Mpo Pate from Soweto. I'm like, I'm not from Soweto.
And this is now your chance, Mpo. Tell us about yourself and what you're looking for.
No, hi, I'm Mpo. I graduated from Stellenbosch University studying investment management. I graduated now in December 2025. My past experience is that I've been a mentor in my residence, so I have a lot of leadership experience. I've helped over 100 students basically settle into university. I've also had an internship at Investec. This was a powerful 2-day experience where we learned about the private banking industry. And we also had a challenge where we had to basically come up with a business case solution to Investec's clients, and in the challenge we came second place. And I'm currently looking for a job in any finance-related role. This can be investment management, can be asset management, can be any analyst role, it can be any investment banking role, but anything related to finance. I'm looking for experience in that field as well.
Okay, what's your email address, Mpo?
My email address is mpotluku@gmail.com. That is MPHOTLOOKO@gmail.com.
Mpotloko@gmail.com. So TLOOKO@gmail.com.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Mpo, all the best, my brother. Mpo studied investment management, BCom, from Stellenbosch University, and is looking for anything in finance. Let's go to Buti, who's calling us from Soweto. Buti, before we get to Buti, it's actually 10:30, so let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. I'll start with you, Buti, in Soweto, after the headlines. Any unemployed graduate out there, give us a call. If you are an employer as well and you are hearing, or as a recruitment agent, you're hearing that, hey, there's someone whose skills we can do with, please get in touch with us and we'll link you up with the people that have called us and marketed themselves. Bali, good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. CEO of the Johannesburg social housing company, Themba Matibe, is expected to appear in court this morning. Multiple sources have told EWN that Matibe was arrested on Monday evening and detained at the Sandton police station. It's understood the senior official is being investigated after being linked to alleged irregularities involving certain contracts. At least 30 scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane this morning. This formed part of blitz operations targeting vehicles transporting children across Gauteng. The operations follow a recent fatal scholar transport crash in Vanderbijl Park, which claimed the lives of 14 children. And the United States has started unblocking Venezuelan funds that were frozen under sanctions. This has been confirmed by Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez. The country has been under U.S. sanctions since 2019, following Nicolas Maduro's first disputed claim to re-election. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, we've got delays reported on the N12 West. This is towards the Kilulis interchange. And speaking of the Kilulis, turn off queuing traffic on the R24 West as well between Edenville Road and the N12 merge due to roadworks that are taking place there. There's also queuing traffic in Midrand along the N1 South. An accident reported. It's causing heavy traffic volumes between Olifantsfontein Road and New Road. There's also queuing traffic reported in Amalgam along Main Reef Road, Crownwood Road, as well as the M2 West. So please, if you're traveling along these areas, please be on the lookout and be patient on the route. I'll have more traffic updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Okay, truck 7, that has zero warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without MyWay's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today.
My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
A man driven to the edge. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're with. When his beloved takeaway was taken away. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will eat you.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia. Connecting the Thai way.
From pioneering investments in the telecom sector to getting a foot in the door in the early days of private media, the Mine Workers Investment Company has always been on the lookout for new and innovative companies to advance South Africa as a nation, while building financial security for our country's mine workers and their families. As we end a year of looking back on 3 decades of incredible successes, we look forward to the next 3 decades and beyond. Join us as we celebrate 30 years of MIC.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
It's 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's continue with our unemployment feature. This is where we give unemployed graduates an opportunity to market themselves. And we give employers an opportunity as well to tell us what skills they're looking for in their companies. It's much easier to do this when you give us a call because then we're able to get your details. We can ask you additional questions and we can get all that we need for the next person to be able to send details to you or for somebody else. In fact, to send you some information about themselves or their CV if that's something that they are up to. So if you give us a call on 011-883-0702 as an unemployed graduate, just market yourself. Tell us what qualifications you have, what experience you have, if any, and also what you are looking for as an employer as well. Just let us know what opportunities are available in your company. So I've got some messages that have come through already. Remember earlier on, just to remind you, because some are asking on the WhatsApp line to repeat those details. Earlier on, we got a message from a new automotive dealer group. They're selling vehicles in Mainland Maine, and they're looking at differentiating themselves from other dealers in their marketing strategy. So they look at someone who can be a social media manager. So if you are into graphic designing and you've got social media skills as well, you can send them an email. They want you to join their marketing department. And the email address is tpantsi, P-A-N-T-S-I. So T-P-A-N-T-S-I, tpantsi at TED Car Motor Group, tedcarmotorgroup.co.za. We also got a call from somebody who told us about key opportunities available at Key Health Medical Scheme. So they want a communications and public relations specialist at Key Health Medical Scheme. And if you've got a bachelor's degree or national diploma, maybe NQ level, NQF level 6 or 7 in communications, in PR, in journalism, or even marketing, or any related field, you can send your email, and you must have about 4 years of experience. You can send an email, your CV to HR@keymed, as in key, KEYMED, So hr@keymed.co.za. And please, on the subject line, just quote this KH01. So capital letter K, capital letter H, 01.01.26. Let's go to Booty, who is calling us from Soweto now. Booty, good morning.
Good day, how are you, Clement?
Sharp, man. Go ahead.
I graduated with LLB in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the property sector for 10 years as a property manager, leasing manager at Landlesen. I'm looking for something in property as a property manager or estate manager, and also as an entry level as a compliance officer or any candidate that needs openings around Soweto or Lenesia or Randfontein. My email is Paddy, PHADIK.
PHADI.
P for Peter.
Yeah.
PIK07@gmail.com.
Oh, sorry, but your line was breaking there. Please repeat the email address.
PADK07@gmail.com.
PADK07@gmail.com. Gmail.com. And you've got an LLB from UNISA and you're looking for something in property.
Yes.
Okay, Booty in Soweto, thank you so much and all the best. PADK07@gmail.com is his email address. Michelle, you are in Johannesburg.
Yes.
Good morning. You're a practicing advocate.
Yes.
What do you have available there? Good morning.
So good morning. So basically, what I'm offering is a mentorship program, because criminal litigation is not something you learn from textbooks alone. So I'm offering a mentorship space for junior practitioners, candidates, attorneys, and law graduates who want practical guidance on criminal trials, from reading police dockets to courtroom strategy and those kinds of skills alone. It's not a paid mentorship program or qualifies as anything for an internship, but it's mentorship alone.
Oh, perfect. And how do they get in touch with you, Michelle?
Anybody can email me on my email address. It's michelleives@icloud.com.
So Michelle Ives at iCloud.
Yes, .com.
iCloud.com. Please, can you spell Ives for me?
It's IVE and S for sugar.
Perfect. So Michelle Ives at iCloud.com. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's important. Mentorship is so important. So if you are looking for a mentorship opportunity, maybe you're struggling in your internship, maybe you need extra mentoring when it comes to criminal cases, Michelle is offering that. You can send her an email, Michelle Ives, and Ives is IVES. So Michelle Ives, one word, at iCloud.com. Batobile, you are in Johannesburg. Hi.
Hi, Clement.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. All right, so tell us about yourself. What qualifications do you have and what are you looking for? Oh, we've just lost her. Let's try get her back on the line. And then remember earlier on we got a message from Mpho, who graduated from Stellenbosch, who graduated with investment, management, BCom, and was looking for something like anything in finance. Mpho, someone on the WhatsApp line says, "Hey Clement, please can you tell Mpho from Boxburgs to look at the Standard Bank job portal. There are a few finance roles currently available. Unfortunately, the graduation program intake closed last year already, but there are some finance roles that are available. So Mpho, if you're listening, go check out the Standard Bank job portal as well." And then we have got Spiwe in Johannesburg. Spiwe, hi.
Good day, Clement. How are you?
I'm good. Spiwe, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm an experienced marketing professional with a background in strategic campaigns and client engagement. I am seeking an opportunity as a marketing specialist or a marketing coordinator, where I'll be bringing creativity and strong communication. I am based in Johannesburg. I hold a BCom degree in marketing management.
Okay. And do you have any experience?
Yes, I do have a 2-year experience.
Okay. Sipiwe, and your email address?
My email address is sipiweuj@gmail.com.
sipiweuj@gmail.com. Yeah, Sipiwe. In fact, maybe also contact this TEDCA Motor Group we spoke about earlier and Key Health as well, Sipiwe. I've just given the details as well. I'm going to put you back to the producers and maybe they can give you details of the TEDCA Motor Group because they were looking for someone with sort of skills in marketing, but also try Key Health, the medical aid, because they're looking for a communications and public relations specialist. The difference with Key Health, though, is that they're looking for someone with about 4 years of experience. But hey, have the conversation with them, and who knows, maybe there's an opportunity there that exists. And then there is an employer who's also gotten in touch with us via email and says, hi Clement, we've got some available positions in our company, Eva Lust Distributors. We're looking for an internal sales support person, a dealer, a contractor, direct salesperson. They will be based in Cape Town, and this is in Montagu Gardens. So if you are looking for jobs in this sector, you are going to be expected to perform this job as an individual that must be able to essentially be the requirements. This is what I'm looking for. So if you are interested in this, the requirements listed below are representative of the knowledge, skills, or ability required. So you need a minimum metric qualification or something equivalent to that, and you need a minimum 1 to 2 years of relevant experience in internal sales support, preferably in the construction or building industry, previous experience in outbound call center, inside sales experience. You must be proficient with Microsoft Office Suite, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, you name it. And preference would be given to candidates with previous building industry experience. And then they're looking for an administrator who's going to look at sales for the rest of Africa. And you would be based in Johannesburg in Maldest Drift. And the expectation there is for you to have a diploma or degree in business administration, sales or related field. You need a minimum of 5 years of experience in sales administration, operations coordination, or customer service with a B2B environment. You need some experience in supporting external sales teams and managing CRM. Experience with manufacturing, building material, or distribution industries will be advantageous. So that's another opportunity. If you are looking to be an administrator for sales for the rest of Africa at Eva Lust Distributors, or if you want to be an internal sales support, you can send them an email on careers@eva-lust.com. So careers at eva-lust.com. Remember, when we are done with our unemployment hour, you're going to have an opportunity to listen back to the podcast. So if there are certain contacts you're looking for of an unemployed graduate or of a company that has given us their contact details, but maybe you were driving, you're not able to take down the contact details, don't worry. When this conversation is done, we'll upload the podcast, listen back to it until you get to the part where you can take their contacts down. But if you need them right now, easy, you can just give us a call. And we'll be able to link you up. It's 13 minutes before 11 o'clock. But Tobile, Priscilla, I'll start with you guys after this.
Is your skin itchy, flaky, red or discolored? You may have a fungal skin infection. Turbane treats a variety of fungal skin infections, like skin thrush, a red and itchy rash with small pimples, usually in damp skin areas, ringworm, a ring-shaped, sometimes itchy rash, athlete's foot, itchy, red, discolored, or peeling skin on your feet or toes, and jock itch. Turbane kills skin fungus, and you only need to use the cream once or twice daily for 1 week compared to other 4-week treatments. Ask your pharmacist about Turbane cream and say goodbye to fungal skin infections.
South Africa's musical theatre classic Marabi returns on stage of the Market Theatre with an exceptional cast, launching the theatre's 50th anniversary year. This much-loved play with live music is directed by original cast member Arthur Molepo. Set in the tough Dorenfontein yards of the 1930s, Marabi follows a family chasing hope in Johannesburg, bound by love, loss, and unforgettable music. Marabi runs from the 29th of January to the 15th of February. Visit markettheatre.co.za for tickets.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today. It's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes before 11 o'clock. All right, Winston, you're calling us from Roodepoort. You're from Great Cars. What are you looking for? Good morning.
Good morning. We're looking for a couple of positions.
Yeah.
We're looking for 2 charge point technicians. So we do electric vehicle charging stations. We're also looking for a call center operator and a property manager. In that case, we do want a little bit more experience in working with properties or town planning, because it's about deciding where charges must go across South Africa, and then also have some sales and project management. So anybody in any of those sectors, welcome to send us a CV, and we'd be very excited to have a discussion with them.
Okay, where do they send the CV to?
They can send it to info@gridcars.net. So it's gridcars.net, N-E-T.
Okay, so info@gridcars.net, and what, charge port technician, call center manager with some knowledge around what you said, town planning.
Call center operators.
Call center
so
operator.
The call center operators and property managers.
Property managers. All right.
And the job is in, strangely enough, in the same place as your previous call, in Muldersdrift.
Oh, in
so it seems like Muldersdrift is the up and coming area in the western
Looks like it. Thank you so much, Winston. Thank you for calling
right.
and for telling us what opportunities are available at your company, Grid Cars. So you can send them an email on info@gridcars.net. Let's go to Batobile now, who's calling us from Joburg. Batobile, good morning.
Sorry about what happened previously. Am I audible?
No problem. You're much audible now. Yeah. What qualifications do you have? Do you have any experience? And what are you looking for?
Okay, so I have a degree in Bachelor of Business Administration in Management. During my course of study, I took specific interest in human resource management, business communications, and business strategy. So I am open to working any corporate role of or related to these 3. However, I'm also open to doing any other entry-level jobs, such as a junior administrator, office administrator, receptionist, PA, whatever it is. I am available to work in any of those.
Okay, and your email address?
My email address is batobilesiba@gmail.com.
So Batobilesiba, is it Siba, S-I or S-E?
SIBA at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. So batobilesiba@gmail.com. So just repeat for me, Batobile, like the areas you're looking into. What are you looking for? You said, you're looking to work as what?
So anything relating to human resource management or business communication, business strategy, or even just general administration work, office-related administration, and yeah.
Got you. Batobile, thank you so much for calling us in Joburg, and all the best. batobilesiba@gmail.com. Let's go to Lituli, who is calling us from Senton. Lituli, good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, brother. So what's your company looking for?
We're looking for an executive assistant intern.
Okay.
So experience is not necessary. Training will be provided. We're just looking for someone who is passionate about a career in executive support.
Okay.
So we'll basically be responsible for doing records management, admin, logistics arrangement, etc., etc.
Okay. And where must I send their documents and CV? Careers
at Entropy Capital.
Please spell that for us.
EN TRO PY CA.
Say that again.
CA
PI TA
L.
So Entropy Capital at
.co.za.
.co.za. Okay, .co.za. So entropycapital.co.za. That's where they can send their details to. Oh, perfect. And where are they going to be based?
Santen.
In Senton. Perfect. Lituli, thank you so much, brother.
Sure.
Sharp. Okay, so literally there, if you are able to be an executive assistant to provide support to the CEO, record management, admin staff, logistic management, all of that, no experience required. Training will be provided for you. You can send an email to entropycapital.co.za, ENTROPY capital.co.za. Priscilla, you are in Centurion. Good morning.
Hi, Clement.
Hey, Priscilla. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And you?
Sharp. So what are you looking for and what do you have?
Okay, so I finished getting my bachelor's degree at the Open Window Institute. So I have a bachelor's of creative technologies. I majored in user experience design. So I'm looking for a job under user experience. So basically designing apps and websites, but I also have experience in graphic design. I also did some modules in branding, marketing, communication design. I'm open to working in the Pretoria and Johannesburg area. So if anybody wants to look for my portfolio online, or they can check out my LinkedIn, which is under Sela Thabete. So it's CLATHABETHE. So that my LinkedIn has the link to my portfolio if they want to see that. And my email is cxlla.thabethe@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. And you said graphic design. How did you say you've got any experience, Priscilla?
I'm trying to get experience. I'm open
perfect.
to internships and graduate programs.
Okay. We had a call from an employer from Tedcar Motor Group. And they're looking for someone with graphic design skills. They are what's this? They're a new, an automotive dealer, a new automotive dealer group. And they're selling vehicles in the Midland area, Midland, Maine to be specific. And they want to differentiate themselves from other dealers in their marketing strategy. So they're looking for someone with graphic designer skills. So they've given us their email address, so I'm going to ask Priscilla that you also maybe contact them because they were quite specific to some of the skills that you have, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to put you back to the producers now, and they'll assist you with the email from Tedcar Motor Group. Otherwise, also at the end of this conversation, listen back to this Unemployment Hour on podcast so that you can get their details. Their email address is tpanzi@tedcarmotorgroup.co.za. James, you are in North Riding. Good morning. You'll be our last caller this morning. Hi.
Hello, Clement.
Hey, how are you, James?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. Hope you are good.
Sharp. What are you guys looking for, and what's the name of your company?
Our company's name is Water Trick Services. We are based in Clayville, Olifantsfontein, and we've got an office in Port Elizabeth as well. We're looking for someone that will do administrative sales support. Main responsibilities will be doing invoicing, debtors and creditors accounts. Someone that will administer all invoices, including customer invoices, reconciling accounts, and maintain accurate financial records for all those. We're looking for someone who has some administrative qualification, obviously with metric, some administrative qualification and experience in sales support. But the key requirement should be they should have knowledge of QuickBooks accounting system, because that's what we use. Yeah, he will be or she will be based in Gauteng, but will be servicing both offices in Clayville, Olifantsfontein.
Okay, and the email address to send their details?
Operations with an S at the end at watertricksservices.co.za.
And that Water Tricks is WTA or isn't WATER?
No, it's WOTATRIX services, one word. Yes.
Okay. Services. You said .com.
.co.za.
Okay, perfect.
That's
yeah,
correct.
James, thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
so
sir.
operations at watertricks.co.za. It's a minute before 11.
After a short migration, the family arrives at the premier resort, rich in food, drink, and entertainment. The young, freed from classroom captivity, head straight for Kids Club and the safety of the herd. The adult male meanders to the scuba center, while the matriarch basks by the pool.
Book your resort escape to Knysna, East London, Scottburgh, or Sunny Pass at premierhotels.co.za.
Get your brain in the game, because the brain of 702 is back with your chance to flex your general knowledge smarts. There's 3,000 Rand up for grabs every day, and Brain of the Week wins 10,000 Rand, plus a spot in the finals to compete for the grand prize of 30,000 Rand in cash. Enter on primemediaplus.com now. Then catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa and 702 Drive with John Pellman for your chance to be the brain of 702. T's and C's and more on primemediaplus.com.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Bali Dlamini. At least 30 scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane this morning. This formed part of blitz operations targeting vehicles transporting children across Gauteng. The operations follow a recent fatal scholar transport crash in Vanderbijl Park. 14 learners were killed when the minibus taxi they were travelling in collided with a truck last week. Gauteng transport officials say work to ensure safety in the sector will continue. Spokesperson Lisi Bampia says various non-compliance issues have been identified during these operations.
We found expired and missing license discs. We discovered torn seats that are concealed with blankets. There was non-functional seat belts that we discovered. We were able to get worn-out shock.
Walo allegedly unfairly suspended 200 claims officers, accusing them of corruption. Lindsay Denklinger has more.
NUMSA has told Scopa that RAF employees have had to endure heinous working conditions at various offices and have borne the brunt of office furniture being attached due to the non-payment of court orders. Former RAF employee and NUMSA shop steward Sive Mbali has testified that claims officers were assigned at least 2,000 cases each.
Members were drowning in the workload. And we're deeply concerned because whilst the employees are faced with this huge backlog, the employer has intentions of letting go of about 400 plus employees.
Meanwhile, Scopa chairperson Zongezo Zibi says former board members will today have to account for the decisions that have put the fund in financial turmoil.
We also want to look into the abolition of the panel of attorneys without a plan, which has cost the road accident fund billions of rand in legal costs as well as default judgments.
Parliament is still weighing up legal options against former CEO Collins Letswalo, who has rebuffed summonses to appear before the committee. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
A manhunt has been launched for suspects who shot and killed 3 men at the Gordons Bay Mall parking lot last night. That attack happened when unknown gunmen approached them in their car before firing shots. Police reports indicate that 2 of the victims died inside their vehicle while the other died outside the car. Police spokesperson Novella Potelwa says a triple murder docket has been registered and is being investigated.
Anti-gang unit detectives have initiated an investigation into the murder of 3 men aged between 40 and 45 in Gordons Bay on Tuesday evening. No arrests effected yet.
In flood-related matters now, Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille says the department will be supporting the mopping up of both public and private tourism facilities in flood-stricken Limpopo and Mpumalanga. Earlier this month, deadly storms hit both provinces, claiming at least 33 lives and leaving thousands of people displaced. The floods have damaged infrastructure, affecting tourism sites including the Kruger National Park. De Lille says there are plans to support rebuilding.
We have committed that we will support the mopping up and the cleaning up of both public and private tourism facilities in those 2 provinces through our EPWP program. So the DG has made that commitment, and we are going to use our EPWP budget.
And India's Deputy Chief Minister has been killed along with 4 others. Ajit Pawar's chartered aircraft crashed in an open field while landing at the Baramati airport. He was travelling with his personal security officer, an assistant and 2 crew members at the time of the crash. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has remembered him as a leader of the people. Gold is trading at $5,234.88 an ounce. The rand is at 15.86 to the dollar, 21.92 to the pound, 19.05 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.16 a barrel.
And in the traffic in the city of Tshwane, we've got delays on the N14 North. This is between Euphus Road and the Fountains Valley Circle. Please be on the lookout there. And then traveling on the N3 North, some delays reported approaching the Kilulis interchange.
A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. Temperatures will peak at highs of between 28 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, at least 30 Scholar transport vehicles have been impounded by authorities in Tshwane during a blitz operation this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you so much for staying with us here on 702. Oh, what a marathon hour on the unemployment hour. So producers are currently trying to link up some people who have missed some important information like email addresses for some of the unemployed graduates or the companies that are looking for specific skills. So they're doing that in the background. But remember, the easiest way to do it is that we are going to publish soon, I think, Abel. We're going to publish soon the podcast of the unemployment hour. So whatever we did in the last hour, it's recorded. So we're going to publish it. So if you just Google in the next couple of minutes or anytime from 11:30, just Google the Clement Manyathela Show unemployment hour and choose what happened today, like today's date. And then listen up to that unemployment hour. And if you missed certain contact details or you wanted someone's email, you can hear it back, right, when you listen to the podcast. And that's much easier. But otherwise, some of you who have contacted us on WhatsApp line, the producers have tried to respond to some of your messages. Or you can give us a call to ask us, right? You can call on 011-883-0702 because I see some of you want Michelle Ives' contacts. Some of you were asking about Lutuli from Entropy Capital, who are looking for an executive assistant. So we've said their email addresses. You can go listen back to that podcast or send a WhatsApp or give us a call. The producers in the background will give you the necessary information you need. Once again, thank you so much, especially to the companies that always call us and play the part when we are doing the unemployment hour. Thank you so much for calling us and for telling us what job opportunities are available in your companies. And thank you to all the unemployed graduates who were brave enough to give us a call to market themselves. And I wish you all the best. And as I always say, when you get the job, you go for an interview, give us a call. Give us an update. I know there are many people who end up walking away with a job, with a mentorship, with an internship. And I hope that becomes your story. It's 10 minutes after 11.
Burning questions.
Insightful answers.
Listener's choice.
With Clement Manyathela.
So on our Listener's Choice feature this morning, we are actually doing a follow-up to the conversation we had on the 702 open line last week, following that Constitutional Court ruling that couples married under customary law are married in community of property and cannot enter into anti-nuptial contract at a later stage, even if they subsequently enter into a civil marriage, unless, of course, they do it through the right court processes. So when we were having that discussion, we got an email from one of you that said, okay, I hear you, but how do I then dissolve a customary law marriage? How do I dissolve a customary law marriage? So what we've done is bring in an expert who can guide us through this conversation and help us understand what processes to follow if you want to dissolve a customary marriage. And of course, it's an important discussion to have, because when relationships break down, many people assume that separation, family discussions, or some traditional processes are enough to bring a customary marriage to an end. But in reality, the law tells a completely different story. I mean, in this country, a customary marriage carries full legal status, and ending it requires a formal court-issued divorce, just like a civil marriage. And I think this lack of clarity has actually led to some really serious consequences for many people, because that's why we see disputes over property and inheritance. We see complications when trying to remarry, but actually you have not dissolved the last customary marriage. People, when they want access to maintenance or resolve issues involving children, I mean, in some cases, individuals only discover years later that they are still legally married, despite having long moved on with their lives. So, have you been able to dissolve a customary marriage before? What challenges have you faced? And what questions do you have for my guest this morning around dissolving customary marriages? You can call us on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Mary Jane Mphahlele is an attorney at Mary Jane Mphahlele Attorneys, who's going to guide us through this conversation. Mary Jane, hi. Good morning.
Morning, Clement, and your listeners. Thank you so much for having me.
So how does South African law define and recognize a customary marriage? It's almost like we needed all these important judgments from the lower all the way to the highest court in the land to once again remind us of the legal weight that customary marriages also hold.
In South Africa, the law recognizes customary marriages through the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act. In simple terms, and this is in terms of Section 3 of the said Act, a customary marriage would be deemed to exist if, both parties have complied with the three requirements, having been over the age of 18 and consented to get married in terms of customary law, and the marriage must be negotiated, entered into, or celebrated in terms of their respective customs and customary law.
Okay.
I emphasize the celebrated because people think if they've done the important customs and they have not celebrated, they think they're not married. Whereas the Act says all celebrated.
We had this debate on the open line last week on the show, Mary Jane, about how do you even define a celebration. So, because to me, a celebration could be that, okay, we've just paid lobola, we've baked our cakes, and the two families are sitting and they're having tea, or they're cheers with just like a bottle of bubbles, and it's not a big umsebenzi. So how do you then define what a celebration is?
It would depend from case to case because, as much as we can say a celebration is a big wedding or a big ceremony, not everyone can afford that.
Yes.
So what would be a celebration for me as someone who, earns this much, or someone who has this access to this economic power, or is of a certain social standing? The court would have to get the evidence based on those things. We can't really say that sharing a meal, it's merely celebration, or having a big wedding, it's celebration. It has to be determined on a case-to-case basis.
So on a case-to-case basis. Okay, get it. Okay, so now how do you then dissolve a customary marriage? I'm sure you have dealt with cases, or you've seen from your observation, Mary Jane, how many people struggle later in life because they thought, I've just paid lobola for that person, and even long after they're no longer with them and they've moved on, when they're trying to remarry, and then they're realizing that, there's a blockage, and that's because they never attended to that customary marriage. So for people who want to dissolve it, what's the process to follow? Because people think, it's just sitting down with the families and explaining that, we're no longer together, then go our separate ways.
Unfortunately, for most people, they think that merely just separating that ends the marriage. Merely saying that I don't want you, you don't want me, that separates, dissolves the marriage. Or calling the uncles to come together and say, it's not working, then that dissolves the marriage. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The Act in itself says in Section 8 that a customary marriage may only be dissolved by a court by a decree of divorce on the grounds of irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. So only a court of law can dissolve a valid customary marriage that complies with all those requirements we spoke about earlier.
And do you follow the right process, like when you would divorce in a civil marriage?
Absolutely. You issue summonses. They are served on the other party through the sheriff, and that person would have 10 days to respond to the summonses. If they do respond, then they will have an additional 20 days to, put their formal response onto the summons. And if they do not respond within the first 10 days after being served, then you can proceed to divorce them in default.
Yeah, this is really going to help a lot of people because, as I said, for some reason and for some bizarre reason, we take customary marriage as it's just the first step, or some people take it even as engagement, and they don't realize that once you've passed that process, your main wedding is not some civil union, you've already had a wedding. And if you choose to have, a ceremony where you're going to wear a white wedding, sure, go ahead, but that doesn't in any way give it more importance than the first step that's already taken, especially if it's done according to how you have defined it. I want listeners to have an opportunity to ask you some questions and also share their own experiences if they've had to dissolve a customary marriage. Give us a call on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072 07021702. Let's start with your WhatsApps.
Good morning, Clement. Look, just a bit of clarity. My aunt got married and had 3 kids with her husband. Customary marriage because they only paid lobola. And then they got married for about 19 years and had 3 kids with her husband. And he left after 19 years to marry somebody else. And they had a court marriage. And after that, many years later, about 10 years or so later, this previous wife wants to go to court to make sure that they are legally divorced. And when she gets to court, she found out that before he married her, he had already paid lobola for the now wife, and she was never, so I don't know, could we say she was never the wife to begin with? Or how is that dealt with in terms of law?
Shoo, Mary Jane, I'm a bit lost there. Did you get it, or should I play that again?
Yes, I did.
You got it.
Get it.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. So, not legal advice, just, providing some input on the situation. It seems that the uncle married the now civil wife first, the customary, because he paid lobola for her first, and then thereafter paid lobola for the wife who thought they were the first wife, and then thereafter married the actual first wife in terms of civil.
Yes.
I get it. So in this situation, it means that there exists a polygamous marriage in terms of the first wife, who is now the second, the civil wife, and then in between her and the second wife, who's now trying to divorce. Right. The Act does allow for a polygamous marriage. However, there needs to be compliance in terms of Section 6, subsection 6, that says that if a man wants to take the second wife, they need to do an application to the court that will regulate the matrimonial regime. So, of course, the polygamous marriage would have to comply with the respective parties' customs. In some cultures, you can't take the second wife without the consent of the, you can't take the second wife without the consent of the first wife. But if in your culture is allowed, then we have to look at now if there would be a joint estate. Section 6, subsection 6 would tell us that if there wasn't that application that I spoke about earlier, then there wouldn't be a joint estate. That means the first marriage would be in community of property, the second marriage would be out of community of property. However, you can't enter into a civil marriage whereas there is a subsisting customary marriage.
Unless you are polygamous.
Polygamy, you can only do it in terms of customary marriage. You can't do it
only in terms. Yes.
And what's more prevailing now is that people don't dissolve their customary marriages and then they go enter into civil marriages with other people. That civil marriage can be invalidated because the Act does not allow you to marry in terms of the Marriages Act when there is a subsisting customary marriage.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people really find trouble, down the road, or when someone has passed, and now someone who married that person 20 years ago wants to bury them because the law says I got married to that person customarily, and you entered into a civil marriage, so our marriage still is valid. Ntlantla, you're calling us from Linwood. You've got a question. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sure.
It's exactly on the issue of married customarily first, then I went on to marry on the next lady in a civil marriage. Now, the first lady just indicated to me, go ahead and get married. I'm not married to you. Our marriage is over.
So that's what your first lady you got married to customarily said to you.
Yes, we are not married anymore. I've moved on with my life. Move on with your life.
And you went and found another lady who you married in a civil way or customarily?
In a civil way.
In a civil way. But did you not pay lobola for them before the civil?
No, I paid lobola because in our culture we pay lobola before you can get married.
Yes, but then that's customarily. Then you are married at the point you've paid lobola and you've celebrated.
Yeah, so I married the first one. We celebrated.
Yeah.
We went our separate ways, and I went and found another one and paid lobola. We went to Home Affairs. We signed.
Okay, so you want to know if you're still married to that first one?
I want to know at what point do we then nullify it, because the first thing said it's nullified. She does not want that marriage. Yeah.
Yeah, but she also said it. Hey, so
Yeah,
Mary Jane,
she said it.
How would you advise and plan? Because the lady just said, yeah, we're no longer together, but it hasn't been nullified according to the processes you've explained.
Yeah.
So, firstly, before you get to nullifying a marriage, we have to determine as to whether there are grounds to nullify that marriage. But if you have complied with Section 3 in respect of the first marriage, then you are married in terms of customary. If you want to dissolve that marriage, you simply divorce. And you cannot marry someone in terms of civil, whereas there is an existing customary marriage with someone else. You can convert the first marriage into a civil marriage with your first spouse, but you can't simply marry someone else in terms of civil without having dealt with, the customary marriage. So the grounds for nullifying would be lack of legal capacity to marry, absence of genuine consent, and maybe prohibited degrees of relationship. Maybe you are married to your sibling and you didn't know, or blood relative. Then those are the things that we will consider.
What if I've fallen out of love, Mary Jane?
You'd simply divorce.
Oh, you simply divorce, okay. Oh, then nullifying, that's completely separate to the divorce. Yeah, okay. So, Ntantla, does that make sense? So, I think you're going to have to call that first lady, brother.
No, let me ask the last question.
Quickly, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is the status of my marriage now? Of my second marriage?
You would have to consult with an attorney properly on that, but based on case law and the legislation, if you are married in terms of customary law, we are going to assume for all purposes that the first marriage is a valid customary marriage.
Okay.
You cannot marry the second person in terms of civil, in terms of the Marriages Act. That's not allowed.
Yeah. So, Ntantla, to avoid problems, my brother, for your new wife, call the old lady and sort it out legally so that you nullify it or you divorce to allow for your new marriage to be valid. You don't want problems.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you
brother.
very much.
All the best.
Bye.
Thanks, Ntantla, calling us from Linwood.
Hi, Clement. Can you please ask your guest then that if I've sent my people to another province, say I send them from Northwest to KZN, and my people, they negotiated lobola and they paid lobola on that day, and then they have lunch there, and then they come back to the Northwest. Okay, it's not like they're coming with Makoti and all that. It all ended there. Okay, so now, fast forward down the line, you want to get into a civil marriage with someone else because now that customary marriage didn't work between the two people, and now you get another partner. Spend some time. You want to get into a civil marriage with that partner. Apparently, you have to divorce this first partner from the customary marriage. And now, what is the process there? Please, can your guest explain what is the process there?
Okay. Yeah, Mary Jane, you sort of explained what you do, but the best thing is speak to an attorney and they'll tell you what the necessary steps are. Or can you just go to a court yourself and do it yourself?
When it comes to customary marriages, I always say the best thing to do is consult with an attorney to find first if there is a valid customary marriage. Because as much as it's an assumption and also a well-known assumption that once lobola is paid, there's a customary marriage, there are other requirements that need to be met. And in most cases, yes, they are met, but we can't really just put a blanket over everything. So the first thing, consult with an attorney to determine if there's a valid customary marriage. Or if you strongly believe there is, you can do the divorce yourself. You don't need an attorney.
Yes, okay.
To, do the divorce. Okay. You simply go to your regional court, you ask them for the template, Jadi Samonsi, you fill it in, you provide the necessary information, and you give them the documents. Where they are minor children, you give them the birth certificate, you attach the lobola letter if you have. If you don't, you get affidavits from the witnesses who were there to attest as to what happened to a point where you think there's a customary marriage or a customary marriage was concluded.
Okay.
You issue those, they are allocated a unique case number, you take them to the sheriff, you pay a certain fee, they serve the other party will have those time frames to respond.
Okay, perfect. Tammy, you are in Alberton. Hi. Hey, Tammy.
Hello.
Sure, Tammy, go ahead.
I'm having the same situation here. So now, as the lady was speaking, my question tend to be like, what validate the customary marriage exactly? Because my situation is very, very complicated. I'm not even sure that I'm married in that customary marriage. Is it existing? I'm not.
Did you pay lobola, Tammy? In Tlaula?
I didn't pay. I don't. Yes, actually, it was my firstborn. I was getting my firstborn to this lady, and then I said to her, "No, I'm young. I'm not ready for marriage." And then she said, no, she can't be pregnant because she's a Christian, so now I must lobola her. I said, no, I cannot lobola her, but according to my culture, I must pay damages because I've made damages to the, even though she had 2 babies already, but I believe that I still have to just pay damages to cut the matter short, yes. But however, I'm not sure if it's valid because what transpired after I pop out the money to pay damages, apparently she asked me that she's going to add money so that she can ask her family that she's going to stay with me since she's going to have a little baby. So I'm not sure, or did she add the money and what? Because when we went there, apparently, I don't know to call the area, in fact. When we went there, apparently we were just invited to the church after that. And then the lady bought the rings and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Wait, were you there? You went to the church?
Yes.
Did you put a ring on her finger?
She did put a ring. We were shocked with my family, of which when we fight after that, they didn't work, and then she took a ring. I gave her, I said, "Oh, it's your ring. If this thing is not working, it's your ring. I'm giving you back. You can take it." So
yeah, that's very complicated.
Very complicated.
Okay, Mary Jane. Yeah, that's complicated because Tammy went there to pay intlaulo, so what they call damages, right? Because you've impregnated their child before they could get married. But this woman seems to have added money so that the family can look at it like as, okay, uyamtata, so they can live together. And then they went to church, they were invited to church, and she brought out a ring. So what does Tammy do in this case? I mean, could that woman argue that, well, we are customarily married, or they would have to go check once again the conditions of those negotiations to see if that is valid as customary marriage?
So there's a lot at play. But if that money and when they went to pay damages and all those things that happened there comply with Section 3, if the money that was paid there, some of it was for lobola and both parties, were of the same mind, then we can say there is a valid customary marriage. It would be important for him to properly sit down with an attorney and, get properly advised. That if there is compliance in terms of Section 3, one would say there is a valid customary marriage. And then in terms of what happened at church, I believe there's a lot that's missing there that we are not privy to.
Yeah.
But in South Africa, yes, you can marry through a church, and the marriage must be officiated by a marriage officer registered with the Department of Home Affairs. So if that happened, then banyeti. But if not, it's another conversation. But the proper way to know his position, it would be to just properly consult with an attorney.
Okay. Hey, Mary Jane Mpahlele, thank you so much. We may have to bring you back because there's just too many calls and too many WhatsApps we haven't even gotten to. She's an attorney at Mary Jane Mpahlele. attorneys. It's 11:32. Time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. When we return, we start with our Sharing Space feature. Maki, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The name of a man who is alleged to be a feared and dangerous character was made public before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. Testifying before the Commission, KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss Liseja Sinona read out a message he received from KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The message was sent to Sinona over WhatsApp and pertained to an alleged meeting between Mkhwanazi and tender tycoon Vusmusi Ket Matlala. Ekurhuleni's MMC for Roads and Transport, Andile Mgwevu, has been described as a committed public servant. Mgwevu's body was recovered in Mozambique last night after the car he was travelling in was washed away by floods in the Chokwe area more than a week ago. The bodies of 3 others who were with Mgwevu in the car were also found during yesterday's extensive search and recovery operation. And in South Korea, the country's first lady has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for corruption. He was arrested last August over a raft of charges including bribery, stock manipulation and political interference. She was found guilty today of accepting lavish gifts from the Unification Church, but was cleared on charges of stock manipulation and violating South Korea's campaign financing laws. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
And this EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. Amo?
Well, Clement, we've got delays on the N14 North in the city of Tshwane. This is between U.S Road and the R111 Trichard Road. Please be on the lookout there. There's also some delays reported along the N1 North heading towards the Linwood area. This is due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. There's also slow-moving traffic in Joburg now on the N3 North approaching the Kidulis turn-off, as well as on the M2 West between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. Otherwise, that's your last traffic update from me, Mo Ramela. Stay tuned for more traffic updates.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
It's called the Koza here in another called the Koza production starring called the Koza and Cars.Koza. In this country, we don't just drive cars, we love cars. So slide into our DMs on WhatsApp and let's find what moves you.
The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
Okay, it's 25 minutes before 12 o'clock. Time for the Sharing Space, one of my favorite times on the show. And first of all, let me thank you, 702 lenders, for the emails that you've been sending for the Sharing Space. I've really just enjoyed listening and reading some of them, and of course some of them are quite tragic, so I didn't enjoy it in that sense. But you've telling us your stories, and this is what this feature is all about. We want to share our stories about stuff that's happened to us that we found bizarre, that we found interesting, that we found shocking, whether at work, at home, with your family, something your husband did, something you did with your bosses, your friends, whatever it is, or something you've observed. What is it? I want you to share it with us on the Sharing Space. You can send us an email on cm@702.co.za, and then we will read your email on the show. We can protect your identity, and the listeners can give you advice if that's what you're looking for. I know a lot of people are always looking for advice. So here we go. We've got a very short email today from a listener who says, "Hello, Clement and the listeners." Okay, this person is giving us her name. Now I can read it? Okay. "Hello, Clement and listeners. I'm Judith, needing advice. So my friend proposed to his girlfriend last year, November, and she said yes. They have known each other for years, but only started dating last year, so it's a bit new. The thing is, she's got a kid, and he doesn't want anything to do with the child. He has always told me he didn't want to be with someone who has got kids, but yeah, life happened. He says they have literally never spoken about the kid, and he doesn't know how to bring it up. He wants to marry her, but doesn't want involvement with the child. Is this going to be a problem? How should he approach this conversation? Thank you. I'll listen for advice on the radio. Okay, Judith, thank you so much. This is quite interesting. So your friend, who is a male, has got a girlfriend, but that girlfriend has a child. But your friend doesn't want to be involved with that child. In fact, your friend has always never wanted to date a lady who's got a child. But for some reason, he went ahead and continued a relationship with this woman, and now he wants to marry her, but doesn't want to have involvement with the child. So is this going to be a problem? How should he approach it? What is your advice for Judith? And what is your advice for Judith's friend who wants to get married to this woman who's got a child? Ooh, I've got so many thoughts about this. First of all, if your friend, Judith, didn't want to date a woman with a kid, why did he go ahead to date one? And then now he says, I want nothing to do with the child. If his very core basic principle is, I don't want to date someone with a child, why did you go ahead and date this woman who's got a child? Number two, this woman is dangerous, because what kind of woman finds a partner and they don't even talk about their children? Like, are there women who lie about, not even lie about having kids, because in this case, this guy knows, but are there women who literally don't talk about their children, their most precious gifts, when they've got new boyfriends? That is scary. If I met a woman like that and we're out on a date, and in all the time I'm spending time with you, not once you've not mentioned your child, I'm running away. What kind of a mother are you? And I know I'm not saying make your child a topic every time you speak to a new boyfriend. No, I'm not saying that. In fact, for all I care, they could meet your child after 6 months or a year, whatever you do. But your children are a very integral part of your life. And if you're not even going to mention them in all the time we've spent together, I think that would be a problem. But I am more shocked at the fact that this friend, Yaga Judith, went and dated a woman who's got a kid when he knew that he doesn't want to date ladies with children. And now he wants to marry her but doesn't want involvement with the child. What do you expect? This woman was, abandon her own child? So once you've married her, what must happen to that child? Judith, your friend? 19 minutes before 12. What do you think? Give us a call on 011-883-0702 or send a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702.
Let's hear from Susan, owner of Leopard Song Manor, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for 13 years. Switching made me aware of things that we weren't covered for. It was a quick process. I saved a lot of money.
For boutique hotels, catering companies, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Enjoy the thrill of the Soccer Panthers Challenge Weekend Edition, an all-new platform from Hollywood Bets. You stand a chance to win a share of the 5 million rand jackpot when you bet 5 rand or more on selected EPL matches over the weekend and correctly predict 10 out of 10 winning margins. Or chase the share of the 50,000 rand leaderboard prize. Entry is free. Let this soccer season bring sizzling success. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Attention pool owners, Chamberlain has the best deal ever. HDH 8 kilogram granular chlorine for 349 Rand. Yes, HDH 8 kilogram, only 349 Rand. Join us from the 5th of January to the 1st of February for Gauteng's best pool care deals. Hurry into your nearest Chamberlain today and get yours before they're gone. Limited stock, collection only, while the promotion lasts. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
702 was in conversation with the Mine Workers Investment Company, celebrating 3 decades of empowering mine workers and their families through smart, sustainable investment.
Through the JB Marks Education Fund, we have more than 2,200 graduates that have gone through the program and graduated across various fields of study. As we speak, JB Marks has approximately 700 students at any point in time in their system. We've also touched lives through the Mine Workers Development Agency, which does social upliftment projects for communities that mine workers come from. So predominantly your labor sending areas of South Africa and our neighboring countries. And they have touched more than 1 million lives through social upliftment programs, agricultural programs, food security programs, and SMME programs.
Visit mic.co.za today to learn more. Celebrating 30 years of the MIC on 702.
The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
17 minutes before 12 o'clock. Let's hear from you on the voice note line.
Clement, Judith must be honest. Maybe Judith wants to be in the picture and, be the main one. I don't know. It's just a funny one on my side. But in all honesty, this guy must decide now to say, no, I can't go on with this, or else he'll live to regret it. Ola.
Clement, my advice to the guy is that he must just stay away from someone who's got a child. It's easiest. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, and I just think that it's wild, man. Are there ladies out there? Maybe you can share what your experience has been. Have you ever been with guys that don't want anything to do with their kids? Like they don't want you to talk about them or anything like that? So ladies out there who've got kids and who are in the dating game, or you started in the dating game, when you already have kids, did you keep that subject away? And you deliberately didn't talk about your children when you went on dates and you were getting to know this guy? Or you spoke about it in the beginning, and what was the impact of that? Because, I've got questions about this woman who has never spoken about her own son in front of this guy in pursuit of a new relationship. Yeah, that would be a big red flag for me. Semi, you're calling us from Centurion. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Clement, I'm going to say that this guy must just be realistic with himself, because if he's going to marry this woman, the child, there's no way that he's going to have this woman to not have the child involved in the marriage, because they're going to be a family, right? So I also don't have children, right? And I don't want a woman who's got a child. That's how I stand, because I don't have none. I don't want someone who's got any. So the best way is this: just be realistic. Stop having this unrealistic expectations, because if you're going to marry this woman who's got a child, and you don't want a woman who's got a child, you're going to end up developing hatred towards this child, and it's going to end up being an abuse situation at the end of the day. So the best thing is just for the guy to just step away. In fact, break off the relationship, because you can't get. It's just a mess. So the best thing is for him, for this friend, whoever, to just step away from women who've got children. Start being realistic with himself. Start being reasonable. Put reason ahead of feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Semi in Centurion, thank you. Here's a WhatsApp that's come through from Lillian, who says, Clement, Judith, your friend is in a very difficult situation. No mother would want to part with her child. He has to definitely accept the child, as the child cannot be erased or ignored. The child has needs and needs its mother. It would be very unfair to expect the mother to simply move away from the child and move on. Disaster waiting to explode now or later. And I mean, I would imagine as a lady with a kid or kids, if you meet someone, I mean, if I was in your shoes, my biggest priority would be, I need someone who's going to understand that I've got children and is going to accept my children. That's it. And I'm not saying that, you must now be the father, in that way. I mean, the children probably have their own father and they're co-parenting well with the mom. But if you're not going to accept my kids as the mother of the kids or the father of the kids, then we shouldn't be talking then. We shouldn't be here. It's not going to work.
Clems, good morning. Titus from Rosenville. My take on this, that guy, silly guy. You love a lady, you want to marry a lady, but you don't want a part of her. That child is a part of her. Clems, like you said, why did he, in the first place, start dating that lady? Because from what we've heard, it's not like that lady kept the child secret from him. So I will say it again, that guy is silly. It will not work. My advice to that other lady, run. Just run. Titus Toffontaine.
Good morning, 702 Land. Vincent here. Well, Clement, I agree with you. That's a good question. Why did you get why did you get involved, with this particular person, and yet you know that you don't want, a girlfriend with a child? So this is not going to work. I think, Judith, tell your friend to just forget about this man while this is still new, so they can find somebody better. Because definitely sure, I see disaster here, because your friend cannot abandon the child, you see. And now this guy does not want the child. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of life would that be? No, guys, it's not going to work. Just run away. Run away. There's good people out there. Thank you.
Yeah. And Judith, I mean, maybe this is like pushing it and crossing the line, but just out of curiosity, what's your relationship with this friend? Is it just friendship? Does someone have feelings for another? Because some listeners are asking that. I think they're picking up that maybe there's something we don't know here. Maybe you've got feelings for him, or maybe he's got feelings for you. Maybe stuff that he shared with you is to somehow indicate that, hey, how about we do something? How about we get it on? If you can, Judith, if you're listening to us, send us a WhatsApp, please, to clarify that. Roger, you're in Renbeck. Hi.
Good morning to you.
Hey.
Clement, yes, this is a disaster waiting to happen. No mother will ever give up her sibling for somebody who's not interested. It is no relationship. She must just say, thank you, goodbye, we had a good time, and find somewhere else who hasn't got a child. And I don't know how old this child is, but it has a lot of influence on that youngster. I tell you, I've seen it before.
Yeah. No, true, Roger. That's really true. If a man loves a woman and doesn't want to adopt the child, then he's not in love. Thank you, Roger. It's 10 minutes before 12.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
In a recent Business Day piece, one of your colleagues, Virat Chada, argued that despite government support programs, grants, training initiatives, many township businesses remain stuck, even although we talk much about the township economy.
We talk about the informal sector as a separate thing, but we all know, say for example, if Ugogo takes Magwenya, that lady goes to any wholesaler to buy flour, to buy sugar, so they are part of their value chain.
Yeah.
So how we think about it as informal, quite a strange thing.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Water is a scarce resource. That dripping tap, that overwatered lawn, it all adds up. Johannesburg Water urges you to fix on property leaks, reuse grey water and reduce unnecessary use. They're intensifying leak repairs and upgrading infrastructure to reduce losses. By working together and changing daily habits and water resources, they can be safeguarded and supply secured for future generations. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water and sanitation utility that cares.
Do you suffer from migraines? Have you been previously diagnosed by a doctor and treated for migraine? Ask your pharmacist about previously prescribed migraine treatments that are now available without prescription. Brought to you by Sandoz.
Supercharge your business productivity with Moloi Innovative Solutions. We bring the most highly customized and cost-effective IT infrastructure to your fingertips. Whether it's desktop and server support, cloud services or hardware, software and printer procurement, our dynamic team makes sure that you have the tech that resonates with you. Moloi Innovative Solutions. Experience at its best. Get to moloiis.co.za for more.
The Sharing Space
On the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
8 minutes before 12 o'clock.
How's it, Clemens? You know, there's a saying, but so, in all honesty, I don't blame the fiance, the lady, because the fact that he knew that she had a child, maybe she didn't speak about the child because maybe she noticed maybe he was hesitant or something, and she maybe hoped that things would change. But I do blame him because he got himself into that situation. He knew very well that there was a child involved. Now what must she do? Must she let go of her child? Man, he must leave her and the child alone. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Judith has responded to that question we asked, guys. Remember, some people were suggesting that maybe Judith wants to be with this guy, or the guy wants to be with Judith, or a weird situation. So I asked if Judith is listening, if she can just clarify to us. So she sent us a WhatsApp voice note. So let's listen.
Good morning, Clement and the listeners. Judith here. Well, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with this guy. He's just a friend. So he just needed advice. So I thought maybe I should ask you guys, because I told him the same thing that you guys are saying. So I just wanted to give him more advices. Judith in Pretoria.
Okay. Now it's settled. Judith says, nah, it's not like that.
Clems, good morning. Titus from Rosenville.
Hi, 702. I feel like this is what this is a problem that we have with relationships, right? People have their own expectations, principles set out for themselves, and yet they do not live up to those expectations and expect the partner or the other person to be the one that maintains such expectations. How do I maintain your principles for you? Because that's what he is essentially doing. He's asking the girl to meet his expectation while he got into the relationship knowing that she doesn't meet his criteria. Can we be the ones that, are true to ourselves? Thanks, Lee.
Good day, Clement. Great show as always. Look, Clement, sometimes it is fair to say, I want nothing to do with the child. I'll just take you past my experience when I took out amalobola for my woman, and the question in the negotiations was, is he also lobolaring the child? So in my case, I said yes. So I took the mother and the child, so I lobolared both of them. So in his case, if he wants to only take the mother, then obviously he's only going to lobola the mother, and the family has to take care of her other child, or the mother will also take care. Look, he's not going to distance himself from the child completely. He's going to be there. He's just saying it now with words, but at the end of the day, he's fair to say, I want nothing to do with the child. Remember, it's your choice, and we live up to our choices. Thank you, Freddie Boxberg.
Hi, Clement. This relationship has got all the elements of a failure. Don't go there. Why do you propose? Why do you go out with the woman? And it's got all the elements from both sides. This is doomed for failure. I don't think he's looking for a spouse, he's looking for a housekeeper and a sex partner, but he's really not looking for a spouse. Theo Pretoria.
Hi, Clement. I think part of the answer would be if you've heard some of the comments coming from the gentleman, they're saying, I don't want a woman that has a kid. So I think what needs to be done is he needs to address the situation and find out why. Because maybe, and just maybe, she's afraid of losing him or afraid of getting a connection before and then because of mentioning a child. So address the matter and find out what lies beneath.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Water infrastructure vandalism has tragic and dangerous consequences. The theft of manhole covers can result in fatalities, especially among children. Each damaged pipe, illegal hookup, or vandalized pump jeopardizes access to clean water, disrupts service, and threatens public life. Report suspicious activity to the City of Johannesburg at 0800 002 587. Help combat water infrastructure vandalism. Your alertness can prevent disasters. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water utility that cares.
And the award for the spiciest stunt performed in a bowl goes to Tom Yum Cruise.
Thank you everyone. Wow, what an honor. I'd like to thank the chilies, the lemongrass, and of course, Simply Asia for believing in my flavor.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia, connecting the Highway.
Coming up
on the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
How's it, Mandy?
Clement,
What's popping?
The CEO of the Joburg Development Agency has been arrested in possession of a large sum of cash. We'll give you all those details. The SIU has recovered 17 billion Rand for NSFAS. The KZN Hawks Head is back on the stand at the Madlanga inquiry. No safari suit today. We'll hear about how Knysna is rallying against Day Zero, and investigations underway into a fire at the hospital in Paarl.
Okay, that's what's coming up on the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Thank you for listening to the Wednesday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Maki Malapo. We begin with news just in from the courts, where the City of Johannesburg Social Housing Company acting CEO Themba Matibe has been released from custody on 50,000 Rand bail. Matibe made a brief appearance in the Alexandra Magistrates Court today, facing charges of money laundering. The 28